So what I think the new generation of females are doing wrong is they are basing their dreams and aspirations on moments that they see on social media, I feel.
The work ethic aspect of things, I tend to think this generation struggles with.
We're being silent, but at the same time we're being too vocal. I feel like sometimes the work needs to happen behind the scenes. We need to start talking about it and stop actually just talking about it and just get the work done.
Young girls would do better by not going on social media to seek validation of how they should live their lives, who they should become, how should they behave, how should they carry themselves, because we tend to be on these Facebook streets, checking out how others live their lives,
There's a serious problem with constantly seeking shortcuts and then wanting success.
I feel like they're not giving themselves a chance. They're harder on themselves because they think everything is instant.
The discipline to just work hard, have a good work ethic, and to allow time to take its course before you achieve certain things.
A lot of the injustices that we face in the society it's a lot of policy work. I mean, if you think about how someone can go to jail for maybe 5 years for raping a woman and then just come out and live a better life, but a woman has to go through so much at that time. A lot of the things that we have to fix up are from behind the scenes. It's laws, it's policies. The fact that we have to almost enforce that 50% of workplaces need to have women. For me, it's a policy thing. It's more of a documentation thing. So it's very, very important that we get that right first. So it's being more vocal, but at the same time, the work must also speak with the voices.
Breathe and then carve your own path.
Go on social media for inspiration, but not for validation.
You can't. You have to take it, dilute it, purify it, and make it into something beautiful.
I block out the negative energies I meditate. I'm not going to come out as an expert of anything, but throughout my healing journey with my past, I had a very traumatic past, and I discovered meditation. Being aligned with nature. You look at the tree and it's as it is. It doesn't need you to validate it. It doesn't need you to describe what color it is, and it should have been pink, not green. I turned to align myself with nature, align my being with nature, and be just bare as I am.
I protect my chi, but you get to that place because you don't have to be famous to know what it's like to have to deal with that nonsense. So for me, I allow it to pinch if it pinches. Sometimes it's stupid and you go, yeah, but this person's being stupid, and then you move on. But sometimes it hurts, and in that moment you have to go, that actually hurt, so that you can feel it, then get past it, because you must remember this person doesn't know you at all, and they need a reaction from you to validate them. So that's how I shut them out.
Some people I ignore. Some negative things I ignore. I'm just like, but you want me though. Yeah, I'm bad. And you know what? Because I'm bad, but more than anything, I generally don't like conflict. I try and stay away from conflict. So if you say something nasty on my page, depending on the level of nasty it is, I will either reprimand you. If maybe I can see that you've forgotten your role and you think we're friends, I'll just remind you quickly that we're not friends. But if you are beyond my... If your parents failed at raising you and you just grew up and you are showing me that you just grew up, I'm gonna block you. Purely because I don't like anything negative. I know that negativity is much a part of life, but wherever I can avoid it at all costs, I block it out. I don't think about it because it's gonna drag me down, and I'm an energy being, so I don't have time for your bad vibes.
Bring a positive outcome. If you're saying I'm too dark, then there's something very beautiful about my dark skin. If you're saying my afro is too much for you, then there's something very gorgeous about my afro, that it intimidates you. So for me, it's more about bringing a positive outcome from that noise and making it some good noise, something that actually hypes us up. Make it an applause, actually.
What defines a strong, powerful woman is a woman that considers others and their path, You know, when you go through something in life and then you acknowledge or discover a lot of other women that go through the same thing, you're reaching out a helping hand. It defines your strength. For you to bear all these struggles of other women around you on your shoulders, that defines a strong, powerful woman.
This is a woman who breaks down that wall of Jericho, that wall that we are told that we are too emotional, that we can't stand up for ourselves in meetings where people feel like we need to shut us up. We can't do that as women anymore. The strong woman will stand up, even though she's standing on her own. We want women to unite, yes, but when she's standing on her own, be strong, do it. Stand for what you believe in. And when you're making that noise, make sure that you also empower others to understand the noise that you're making so that we all stand together. For me, a strong woman is an impactful woman, a woman who can bring more women together to build more strong women. It's a ripple effect.
What defines a strong woman for me in society is somebody who stands for their truth. You know your truth. You know your story better than anybody knows your story. And, you know, there are a lot of things that I have gone through that have molded me into the kind of person that I am today. And that is my truth. And I have found that by telling my truth, I'm relating to so many other women out there who, even though may not necessarily be going through what I'm going through, but can relate to it somehow. And that for me is the beginning of being a powerful woman or a powerful individual. It's when you're able to influence people positively and leave a positive footprint and impact in their lives by being authentically who you are. You know, that for me is power, and that's something that I stand for. That's why the short queen came into play, because it's like, that's my truth. But whilst I am in the middle of embracing my truth, how can I empower the next woman to also not be afraid to tell her truth and furthermore be unapologetic about it?
Our strengths as women come in so many shapes and forms. It's a woman who can cry as hard as she can punch you. It's a woman who doesn't have to keep reminding people she's a woman. It is in her aura, it is in her presence. And it's a woman who knows that being a woman is a weapon. It's a weapon you can use. It's a strength. It is never a weakness.
As a woman, I stand for empowering oneself.
As a young adult in today's society, what I stand for is being your true nature.
I think Dumarake stands for being. Because I am who I am, what I am, and where I'm from, and I take it with me. I take that with me everywhere.
More than anything, I'd like to stand for equality, but women can just do so much more than try and be as equal as the male counterpart. We can do even more than that.
For me, this came from watching somebody like my mom, whom, even though has been married to my dad for 35 years, still instilled the importance. I've got an older sister. The significance to my elder sister and I about always having your own money. My mom was like, I don't care if your man is like a millionaire. It's fine even if you have 30,000 in the account, but let that be your 30,000 alone. No one must touch that money.
I take that I am this Motswana girl who grew up in a very mixed background, who has the history she has, who grew up in apartheid South Africa and is raising children in post-apartheid South Africa, and is a disruptor and is something as exciting as it is frightening.
We're very capable of achieving a whole lot more than the male counterpart, because ultimately feminism is about that, to reach equality, whether it's social, economic and political equality. We can do more.
There is no specific way of becoming a certain somebody. You know, when people come out and say, I am Usbanban, I'm who I do this, you know, as a human being, your surroundings make you, but never lose yourself in the surroundings that make you.
I am an advocate for saying to women, get up, do your thing. You know, don't be depending on anyone to make sure that your nails are done, your hair are done. At least get the basics done. Can you pay for your own nails at least? You know, can you pay for your own hair? So that you don't have a nigga out there on some, Didi's pretty like this because I made her like that. You must have your own your own pride, man. Your seriti sa hao.
I stand for what women should be. I stand for unapologetic existence, you know.
We need to find more ways of getting ourselves and pushing ourselves beyond even the barriers that are in front of us. So for me, I'd actually like women to focus on that. It's the fact that we can do more than just being equal. I know we want equal opportunities, but once we get them, what are we doing about it? What are we doing with those opportunities?
Be you. Be you. Anything else, you're a cheap knockoff of everything else or everyone else if you try and be anything other than what you are.
Do not listen to bullies. Do not submit to individuals that come onto you as more stronger than you. You are who you are.
I'd say carry on. Grade 9 was a very rebellious year. When I was 14, I was very rebellious. I created my own rules. I was also in a girls' school, so a lot of girls also like backed me up. I would say carry on. Keep the momentum.
I must say that the one thing that I am solely proud of is the fact that I never gave up.
I think I'll be proud of being able to stand up for myself.
The fact that I made a decision and I said, this is what I want to do, and I stuck by it. And furthermore, I endured the challenges that come with it, the inconsistency that comes with it, the competition that comes with it, the questioning of oneself that comes with it, which in this industry that we're in tends to be like a thing.
I will forever be able to celebrate that at the hardest times, the people I've had to stand up to were very close to me. That when the time came to stand up to people, strangers, to people outside of me and what I'm used to, I stood strong because I knew what it was like to have to stand up to the people you love. And I'll always be proud of that.
For me to stand here as somebody who literally studied drama from National School of the Arts and then at Wits, and having watched so many of my peers, I don't want to say fall off, because I don't think choosing a different path is falling off. It just means you're not. But like, I'm one of the very few people who started and are still here and are doing the damn thing, you know. Yes, I'm diversifying and whatever, but my main core, my main passion is the one thing that drives me, and I will forever remain grateful that I committed, even when it's not easy.
Nurturing. Women can achieve what men can achieve in war, just in love and in interaction, and we can get things out of people without having to use force or hurt them.
Everything. Literally everything except for everything. I mean, we're the ones that give birth, so we're already better.
We also have this ability to, even when we're being strong, come across as warm. Our strength never ever feels like an attack or a danger. Whereas I find with men, the minute you're strong or asserting your masculinity and manhood, there's a little bit of fear. Something changes in the environment. But when a woman does it, it feels like nature and the gods and God and whatever exists agrees with it and moves with it and goes. This comes from a place of nurturing. This comes from a place of birth. This comes from a place that is safe.
There's no such thing as making it. The minute you believe you've made it is the beginning of the end.
I think I'll know I've made it if I am, when I feel like I'm financially wealthy, not just free, but like I can spend stupid money and not for a moment go, but I could be helping a cousin pay their school fees this month. Then I'm going to say I've made it.
As artists, or as creatives rather, we are constantly in a space of innovating ourselves. The more things change, the more you grow. But the minute you say you've made it, it means you're no longer leaving room for learning, which is the beginning of the end. Because if you're not learning anything new, you're going to be stuck in the past. I always say that my biggest challenge is I feel like I'm somewhere between, I don't know if you're born in 89. I'm not quite a born free. I'm not quite a millennial. But I'm there. And for example, for me, I struggled with the whole social media thing when I started. I was just like, why must I take pictures of myself and all these things when I've got a degree? The thing is, no one has ever asked for my degree, but people have asked for my numbers and following and whatever. And it doesn't make me happy. But you know what? I had to adapt because the world is constantly changing. And if I want to be relevant, if I want to have these conversations with you, if I want to be invited to platforms like this for us to converse, it means I need to innovate. So if I'm like, I've made it, bye. It's late. You've never have made it as an artist. Ever. Don't ever adopt that mentality.
They made it wouldn't just be financial. It would be also me going, I'm going to do stuff that makes no financial sense. Like, I am going to go and be cast in some child's high school play that they're putting out because they want me in it just to make it great and because I think their script is great. For me, that's having made it, because now you're not going, oh, my time is precious and now I must go and sit with these kids who don't know what they're doing and then be there for hours. For me, you've made it when you're able to go, I have the time. Cancel a month in my diary. I'm spending it with these kids and making things happen.